Hello, my name's John Zaktansky. I'm the Middle Susquehanna Riverkeeper. I come to you today from our office at 112 Market Street in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and I'm excited to bring to you the next episode in what I'm calling the Study of the Susquehanna River video series as we look at different issues and topics. And today I'd like to talk to you about an experiment you can do at home with your kids, showing how pollution can affect various plant species and eventually us. What you'll need for this specific experiment is a glass half full of water, a celery stalk, it can be any kind of celery stalk, preferably something with the leaves still on top because they will help show some of what we want to do. You'll also need some regular food coloring. Most people have that at home already. And a knife, or I prefer scissors, especially when you're dealing with kids. So the experiment is pretty simple. Celery is a great type of plant to show capillary action and how plants can suck, so to speak, draw water from the ground up through. And when they draw that water up, a lot of times they draw up the pollutants that are in it as well. So we are going to start with food coloring and the water. We want something dark. I've learned that the darker the color of food coloring, the better for this experiment. And you want to drop in a decent amount. Obviously, dark blue makes the water fairly dark. I did this experiment recently and did about 20 drops for this type of container. We want to stir, make sure that that is well mixed in. So we have nice blue water. And then we take our celery stalk. And preferably, we want to make sure that it has a fresh cut on the edge. Kind of like your Christmas tree, it's going to soak up more water when the cut is fresh versus something that's been sitting for a while. And again, if you have kids who are doing this experiment at home, I would recommend parents helping with cutting this part off, especially if you're using a knife. But scissors, again, will work well. And we want to get a nice fresh cut on the edge. And then you simply want to take the celery stalk and put it in your colored water and wait. I've noticed in doing this experiment before with kids that sometimes you'll start seeing some changes in the celery pretty quickly within an hour or so. Sometimes it can take longer, and the longer you leave it in, the more drastic the change. So to give you an idea, here are some that I did yesterday to show you what can happen. I did one in red. As you can see, the red celery stalk is not doing so well. I don't know if that's a sign that red food coloring is scary. But anyway, you can see, especially if you look nice and close, that the red has gone up into the celery stalk, has discolored the leaves, and obviously that came up with the water into the top of the celery. The blue is looking a little healthier, and maybe that's just because it's blue, but there's also some blue coloring in the leaves. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that up close or not, but I'll share some pictures as well, some nice up-close pictures of it. The blue in the leaves actually started showing yesterday about an hour to 2 hours into me having this sitting in the food coloring. So ultimately, you can see there's quite a change, and it's one of those things where I definitely would encourage you to do it with your kids just because it is really kind of fun to watch. Especially if you're stuck at home and you need something to do. It's just kind of fun to watch and to kind of write down what's going on and have some observations and then talk about how plants can absorb water up through their system. And that's very similar across the board with trees and other plant species. And when they absorb that water, they're absorbing whatever's in it. The stuff that doesn't get filtered out goes up through the tree, and as you can see, makes a difference. Check out our blog at middlesusquehannariverkeeper.org. I'll have this video along with some other cool hands-on experiments that you can be doing with your kids during this time of uncertainty. Thanks a lot for joining us today, and I hope you check back soon for another episode.